How's it going, guys? This is Jacob with H.I.T. Just got out of the gym, cycled 7 miles. Don't look like I just got out of the gym because I'm not sweating, but if you've been following the channel at all, you'll know that I cycle at a relaxed pace or a conversational pace, not getting out of breath, and the same thing when I jog. Try to jog at a conversational pace and don't be out of breath when jogging. So just got out of there. Yesterday I started going back through the book High Intensity Training the Mike Mentzer Way, the principle section of it, because I realized that the principles are the foundation on which the workouts that I've been doing stand on. So I just wanted to kind of get a clearer understanding of the principles, because I'm thinking that if I can get a good understanding of them, that way whenever I hit a roadblock or I don't understand something, or maybe I'm having questions during a workout, if I keep reading the principles and understanding them, then and getting better at knowing them, then I can just refer back to that in my mind to find out what I should do or where I should go, or have answers to my questions through learning through the principles. So yesterday I read the first principle, identity, again, and as I did it, once I got done, I was cycling, and so I did kind of a review. I put it in my notes on my phone, that what I got out of it without actually going back to it. So I tried to do it off of memory, type out what I could remember. And so right now I'm just gonna try to remember some of the stuff that I typed out, because obviously I can't go back to it on my phone because I'm recording a video, and I didn't write any of it down actually on a piece of paper. So I'm going to try to go as much off memory as I can and remember as much as I can. And the purpose of this is, like I said, for me, so that I can try to get more in depth with it and get a better understanding of it, and also for you guys, so you can understand where these workouts are coming from and why we're doing what we're doing, which I explain that when I do the workouts, but this will be a more in-depth look at it, so that way if you're wondering why I'm doing certain things, then this will kind of explain it according to Mike's theory. So what I can remember about the first principle, which was identity, it started on the premise of something is what it is and can be nothing else. As states in the book, that's the reason a rock can't fly, or certain things act in certain manners, and they can't act in it within anything but with accordance to their nature. So it goes on to talk about how human beings, we use logic and reasoning to survive and thrive, rather than animals who operate purely based on instinct. So what he sets forth is that once you kind of get a somewhat of an understanding of what your principles are, the foundation of whatever you're studying, such as in like algebra or science or what have you, then through logic and reasoning you can make your way up the ladder through more complex aspects of that subject. And one thing that I just remembered, which is a good reason why I'm doing this, because I just remembered something that I didn't even write down, but through talking about it, I'm remembering that also in the book, it says that identity is a combination of two axioms. One is consciousness, and one is existence. So the fact that you're conscious of your existence determines that you have an identity. So he goes on to talk about a few other things, law of causality, and a few other laws that I would have to read into to actually understand them, which I'd probably have kind of a hard time understanding them just from a gloss over, but I haven't quite looked into them yet. But he says a lot of that to basically, he lays that foundation to say that the people who say that there's not a valid theory of bodybuilding science is that because you can have a valid theory of running numbers and doing calculations and different things to get man on the moon, or launch a spaceship into space, or the fact that we know how to do certain things based on theories is proof that a valid theory of bodybuilding could exist. Because the way he explains it in the book is a lot of times you'll hear from bodybuilders is that you know, what may work for you may not work for somebody else. And what Mike is saying is that that's false. He says, because everybody, if you put you know, genetic mutations and things like that aside, disabilities and you know, things that are outside of your control, you put those to the side, and you just take the human body anatomically and physiologically. He says that we're basically the same. So that would mean that his way of working out or doing the high intensity training works for everybody. So that's kind of what the chapter was about in the long run. There was a lot more to it, but so yeah, the fact that we're all the same basically anatomically and physiologically, that would mean that we can all build muscle pretty well the same way through high intensity training, which was very interesting when I read it, because I've read it before, and it makes sense. And he also talks about the need for goals throughout the book. So in my notes, I wrote down, which I've talked about before, and short-term goal is to lose body fat, which we're constantly achieving all the time through cutting back on calories, eating in a calorie deficit, and cycling and jogging and things of that nature. So we've been doing that for almost 7 weeks now, and I'm thinking right now it's April 10th. I go back out to the boat next Wednesday, and I work for 28 days, and I'm thinking that at the end of my trip, which will be May 15th, is when I'll get off of the calorie deficit, and then I'll start eating in a calorie surplus to build muscle. Because right now, you've only got so many, you know, so many units allocated towards whether you want to build muscle and lose fat through aerobic exercise. There's 100 units total, let's say. You can split it up 50-50, do 50 aerobically to lose fat, or you can do 50 to build muscle, but you're not gonna have your optimal gains with doing it like that, if that makes any sense. So if you allocate the whole 100 units, or the whole your whole man, I can't talk today for some reason. If you allocate all of your effort towards the high intensity training and don't do any aerobics, so you don't do any cardio, then you're using all your energy for building muscle, and you're not taking anything away from it. Versus if you lose body fat and you do the high intensity training, then you're taking away from the 100 units. That could probably be explained a little more eloquently, but basically, if you want to lose fat, you allocate your 100 units towards that and don't do any high intensity training, then you're going to strictly lose fat. But if you split it up, then you're not going to get your optimal gains of building mass. You'll lose fat and you'll maintain your mass, and you could gain a little bit, but you're not going to gain as much as you would as if you allocated all your time and effort towards the building of muscle mass. So like I said, I'll get off the boat May 15th, and I'm thinking that's when I'll stop the calorie deficit diet, and then I'll go into a calorie surplus, and then we should start seeing some muscle gain after that. And so right now I'm trying to strip the body of whatever amount of fat that'll be stripped by May 15th, and that way whenever I do start eating in a calorie surplus, I should see gains in muscle mass through eating in a calorie surplus. And we'll be starting at a kind of a baseline of I don't have a lot of fat. I'm just down to mainly lean muscle, and so that way when we do start seeing some gains, hopefully, then it'll be easy to see and it won't be covered up in fat, and then I won't have to do what I'm doing now with this dieting for like 3 months, which that's what it'll be. May 15th, it'll be 3 months that I've started kind of dieting. So that way, once we get to the other end of eating in a calorie surplus and gaining muscle mass, and then we decide we want to cut back down to low body fat levels, then it won't be near as difficult or near as time consuming to rid the body of the fat. And through eating in the calorie surplus, I will have gained more muscle mass, and it'll be more visible when we get to the end of the building of it, in theory. So tomorrow I will, probably after I'm done cycling or jogging or whatever I do tomorrow, I will upload another video, and it'll be over the second principle, which is intensity. And after that, there'll be 5 more principles, so there's 7 total, if I can remember them: identity, intensity, frequency, duration, adaptability, specificity, and progression. So my thinking is, since there's 7 principles, you got 7 days in a week, and I know this is Wednesday, but if you do, my plan is to do 1 principle a day as far as reading it, and then go through the 7 principles, and then go back to the first principle. You know, if I can keep like that and keep my mind engaged with the principles, then I should get a pretty deep and clear understanding of what they are and what Mike's actually talking about. And then I can relay it to you guys a little better, and maybe I'll get a little better in explaining it. So it'll be beneficial to all of us. And I'm thinking, haven't quite figured out how to do it yet, but right now we're just on YouTube. I'm thinking, I don't know if I want to start uploading to like Facebook, and I don't even have an Instagram, but maybe start an Instagram or TikTok, or maybe start getting on a few other platforms, try to get some more exposure. Haven't quite figured out what I want to do that yet. Probably the sooner the better, I would think. I've got quite a few videos that I've uploaded to YouTube that I could either slowly put out on them other platforms or just dump it all on them platforms, which that probably wouldn't be the best thing to do. That'd probably overload the system in some way. I don't know. Not too tech savvy, but what I want to end the video with is I'm sure there's somebody watching, assuming that anybody will be watching this, that might be kind of skeptical of the process and what I'm putting forward here in this video, and that's fine. As I've said before, this is a experimentation and documentation. So right now where we're at is we're losing the body fat, and once we go into the calorie surplus on roughly May the 15th, should start seeing some gains in muscle mass. I don't know how quickly it's going to happen, but we will see. And I'm sure somebody will probably point out that if you cut down for that long, you're going to lose some muscle mass, which is, it's not fine. I don't like the idea of that, losing more muscle mass between here and there, but whenever we go to eating a calorie surplus, this isn't supposed to work anyway, according to a lot of people. So that's what I want to end the video with, is that soon enough we'll find out if this actually works or if it doesn't. And if it does work, and we'll know it works whenever we get to May 15th and then start eating in the calorie surplus. That's when we'll continue on with the high intensity training and then stop with the cardio altogether. Then we will find out if we're going to build muscle mass or not. So I don't really have a timeline for that after May 15th. 3, 6 months, 9 months, I don't know. We'll just have to see what happens and how it goes. But like I said, it's not supposed to work anyway. So if it does work, a lot of people got a lot of explaining to do that, say that it doesn't work. And if it doesn't work, well then, I guess I've been wrong this whole time, and I've been kind of dragging people along with me. However, if it doesn't work, then what people could take away from this is that I found something, I read into it, I believed it to be true, and I put myself out there to see and show people that you only find out if something works if you try it. I mean, of course, there's other ways to go about doing it, I guess, depending on what you're talking about. But if you're talking about something like this and you just scroll through YouTube and Facebook and you find that people say, oh, it doesn't work, or oh, it does work, and if it's something like this that's pretty low risk for most people who just want to get in better shape and maybe develop a bodybuilding physique, then the best way to do it is to try it. I mean, what's it gonna hurt? And I really believe in it, and I've said that before. I believe it'll work. I'm not as well read into it to say everything that I'm saying is 100% fact or correct, or everything that I'm saying from the book even, that there might not be some nuance to it, but we're just gonna go off the book and see how it goes. But anyway, I thank you guys for watching. Please like, comment, share, subscribe, and I'll catch you on the next one.